Welcome to the March timing report. Whew, there's a lot going on. A lot going on in March. I mean, we already just saw it. We just saw, the attacks in the Middle East happening. So this is going to get more intense. By the way, just for the algorithm, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only. I've talked about in the my weekly astrology forecasts, I talked about the Mercury retrograde cycle and how Venus, the Sun, and Mars cross that, go into that same set of degrees. So that attack that we made, that US made, that Trump announced on Friday, happened on the 27th, which is the day the sun went into that, which is, that can be the president, right? So that can be the leader. So that's why that happened then, but it's not even Mars, which is the planet of war. That planet doesn't cross those degrees until the 13th of March. So we are in a very heated, very extreme, very amplified period of time, okay? And there's a lot of patterns in March, just tons, like so much going on in every area. You're not going to know where to look. So things are going to get very, very chaotic. I'm going to try and do what I can to simplify it because there's so much happening. So first of all, I've talked quite a bit about the eclipse, the March eclipse on March 3rd. This is challenging, okay? And it is bringing up first of all, it's at 12 degrees Virgo, okay? So it's going to most profoundly affect you if you have planets at 12 degrees Virgo, 12 degrees Pisces, and also 12 degrees Gemini and Sagittarius. Those are the ones that are going to have the most hard time. If you're a Virgo, it might be okay for you. It might be good. The other signs are going to have a harder time with this eclipse. And then Earth signs, if you have 12 degrees, planets at 12 degrees Taurus or Capricorn, you're going to get some blessings, some sudden revealed hidden things that you're not expecting that are going to benefit you. And again, I posted that little cheat sheet on how to find what house of your chart that's happening in. Might help you get a little bit of insight into what's going on. Just sometimes it can help make sense of the patterns and also prepare you sometimes for things because sudden random unknown stuff can come out of the blue. It can be even as simple as discovering a talent. It doesn't have to be terrible, right? But it's going to be harder if you're a Gemini or Sagittarius. Those are going to have the hardest time. Pisces also could be challenging, okay? So just be aware that that's what's happening with the eclipse on a personal level for you. Meanwhile, it's all about these secrets, this hidden stuff, all this stuff being revealed. Of course, they have to go to war in order to hide it, right? And to bury it. So that's part of what's happening. But let's go through the way I normally start this, which is with what planets are retrograde, right? So we have Mercury retrograde. Mercury stations direct on the 20th, which is right before the equinox, the spring equinox, the 0 degrees of Aries, which is beginnings, new beginnings. We went through all these planets going through Pisces, and this whole retrograde Mercury is all wrapped in Pisces, which is all completions and endings, lies, deceptions, illusions, fog, all this kind of chaos that we're experiencing. Okay. So like just putting an end to like sort of this sort of a sleep state. Now, not everyone's going to put an end to it, but generally that's all kind of under the banner of Pisces. Also things that have to do with overseas and, dealings with people overseas and other countries across the seas. Okay. So these things are heating up, right? They're becoming more critical, and they will become even more critical between the 10th and the 13th. I know I told you guys in the last call that up until the 10th is a rough time this month. It could go longer. Okay. There's a lot happening though. There's some things that are really good and some things are really challenging. So the Mercury retrograde, for one, be aware of things related to your day-to-day routines and habits. Nail them down. Don't let leaks happen. Be careful because, secrets and hidden stuff, and you don't want anything leaking out, right? So that's the job number one as we head to the eclipse. But also there's, this is more stuff getting revealed as we know. But also Jupiter is also retrograde, has been retrograde for 6 8 months, something like that. And it will make a station direct on the 10th of March. So that's going to release held up blessings. Anything that's been to your benefit, potentially, that's been held up is going to start to move forward. And that is happening at, I'll tell you the degree, That is at 15 degrees of Cancer. Okay. So that's the middle of Cancer. And it's kind of having an impact on the eclipse because it's in orb with the eclipse degree. Okay. So there's a lot of watery, a lot of emotional, a lot of intuitive stuff coming through that can really illuminate things for you. And I know that's very like undefined, but it's also can be gifts and blessings and unexpected positivity coming your way. So that can be really helpful. But again, a lot of zigzag happening because I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a flood of money coming in, but we're also going to hear about a lot of collapses of, things like First Brands or Blue Owl or all these bad credit losses that the banks are taking. They're now going to start to move into really toxic territory